Je travaille sur un roman. C'est l'histoire de ma vie et de mes sœurs.
I mean, I think it's feminist because Greta has not treated these girls like they're just something out of a portrait. Mm-hmm. They're well-rounded, well-written, vivid characters that have flaws and they have strengths and they have personal doubt. And they have a lot to offer the world, and they eventually become aware of that, and I think really kind of use it to their advantage.
And also because the men in this film are feminists. That's something that we've been discussing a lot, is that the men are just as, they're a part of this story as much as the girls are, and they constantly from start to finish support and love and kind of hype these girls up. They're the ones that keep on telling them to go.
They don't get in their way.
No.
Which is lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had one of the heads of Time's Up in our movie, Emma, who's obviously Emma Watson, who's a massive advocate for the cause, and
for women,
and Laura too, Laura Dern, and I think we were just saying that like we all come from families or backgrounds where we had a lot of amazing men and women in our life that, just like the March sisters were, allowed us to be who we wanted to be and allowed us to be loud or quiet or artistic or shy or whatever. And it's interesting that only now, like the films that we're doing actually reflect the lives that we've all had growing up, so. It's gonna be hard. That I think if there's something that you really believe in within yourself, something that you really believe that you have to do, whether it's your profession or a way of life or someone you want to be with or someone you feel you need to be, there's always going to be a cost with that. Yeah. But ultimately, you've as much as possible stayed true to yourself. But I think, one of the things that I've even been thinking of over the last couple of years is that there's such a thing now of like, be who you are, and that's hard. In our adaptation of Little Women, Jo says, I would rather be a free spinster my whole life and paddle my own canoe, and I'm gonna do my own thing. But she also says that she's lonely and she wants someone to love her. And I think it's important that we see our heroines, and she's been a heroine for 150 years, who the likes of Patti Smith has looked up to see them have moments of doubt, because that's human.
And
so
also there's a price to pay for ambition and success. Mm-hmm. I mean, not as dramatic as Louisa May Alcott, but for example, what we do, I've noticed that the price to pay for working and being successful is that you are lonely. You are on your own a lot of the time. And that's just something that you kind of decide to do and continue to do. So that's actually one of my favorite scenes, is when you say, I'm so lonely. Yeah. Because it's so true.
Yeah, I think we wanted it to be there if people wanted to pick up on it. I don't think it was necessary for us to make it the focus. I think it needed to just be very kind of organically a part of that character. And we Laura and Greta in particular did a lot of research into the diary entries and letters that had been written by Louisa May Alcott to her mother. And in that attic scene where she says, I don't know if it's in the final cut, but I remember we did a take where I said I want to be able to love freely, and that was something that Louisa actually said to her mother, that she was sort of confused by the fact that like she wasn't drawn necessarily to the same people or things that other women around her necessarily were, but she didn't have a word for it back then. So it needed to be something that was sort of a part of her and a part of her just fluidity as a person, I think. And it was so brilliant for me to have that knowledge of Louisa and to add that to the character,